Hello and welcome, everyone. This is Lauren Darr with International Association of Pet Fashion Professionals. And today we are going to talk to Kay Lorinc of Pup Scouts. You are in sunny Florida and probably have better weather than we do here in Chicago. At least I hope so. So welcome, Kay, to the Hangout.
Well, thank you for having us.
You're welcome. So, Kay, why don't we start out with you telling me a little bit about what kind of pets you have. Let's start there. Let's talk about your pets and your background itself in the pet industry.
My background in the pet industry is in the fashion world, and that's how Pup Scouts got started. Melanie, Top Dog Model, is my Shih Tzu, and Mr. Mojito is my Havanese, and they are professional models. Doing the fashion shows, the fashion weeks that Melanie has opened, we built a following, and then we would need pups to join us. So we would have like Melanie, Top Dog Model, in Florida Fashion Week, and she would invite her friends once she opened to be in the Fashion Week as well. And we developed a little following, and in 2009, we were like, how can we make a difference? How can we make our mark? And that's how Pup Scouts was formed. Originally in 2009, we were Paw Scouts, and we were working with an organization, Paws, which were therapy dogs, and it's Paws, Pets Are Working Saints, is what that stood for. And then Paw Scouts, the insurance to actually have a therapy dog group, we could no longer afford the insurance, and their Paws is who we went through, and we didn't feel like it would be right to use their name. So in 2010, we formed Pup Scouts, and we've been making our mark ever since.
Okay.
Do I need to explain what make your mark?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it sounds like from a pet fashion perspective that I think that the pet fashion weeks in New York City were around the 2007, 2008 timeframe. And that's really when pet fashion kind of started to get a lot more recognition, I'd say. So it sounds like you were on the edge of that and on the crux of that with pet fashion and your Melanie Top Dog Model.
We have never been to a pet fashion week. These are actual fashion weeks that they have that aren't pet fashion shows. They're actually human fashion shows. And we court Melanie Top Dog Model, when she was brought in to open as a celebrity guest, she would find a featured designer, and then she would bring that pet fashion designer into I guess what you'd call the human fashion world. But we've only been in fashion weeks that were human fashion shows, not, basically. Because I know in New York and stuff like that, there are fashion shows that are geared towards just the animals, and we've never been in one of those shows.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for the clarification. That's good to know. And just also, because you had talked about going through the Paws and starting out as Paw Scouts, and then you changed the name to Pup Scouts, it sounds like, in 2010.
Yes, May 1st of 2010.
Okay, so can you let people know, do you actually only have dogs in Pup Scouts, or are other animals?
Oh, no, we have bunny rabbits, we have birds, we have Fuzz the cat, who is just full of antics. So we have cats, Oh, we even have an iguana. Because there's somebody here that has a pet iguana that actually bought a little uniform for their iguana. So, Pup Scout stands for Pets Uplifting People. So the pup in Pup Scouts is an antonym. It doesn't mean like pup a dog.
Okay, that is good to know, because I think a lot of people, when they hear pup, they automatically assume that it's dog related and maybe only
Yes, if you go,
related.
yeah, if you go to our website, it'll break it down and it shows Pets Uplifting People.
Okay, awesome. So you and I actually started talking about doing this Hangout on Air because you had sent me a photo, and I am trying to get that on screen now. It is. There we go. Yay. I figured it out.
Founders Day. Yay! That was our 5th year.
Okay, so we started talking, and you had talked about having some kind of arrangement with Disney, and obviously there's like Goofy in this photo and things like that, and you know, obviously there's the dogs and they're dressed up and those kinds of things, and you know, obviously with us being pet fashion professionals, we're in support of any type of event that enhances the human animal bond and connection through pet fashion. So can you talk about this event specifically a little bit, and let people know what it was and how it came about, and it sounds like you have a 5-year history too, so if you want to talk about that.
Yes, every year we have a meetup on Founders Day. And Founders Day for Pup Scouts is May 1st, 2010. And this year we held it, it was, I'm sorry, I'm hearing background noise. This year it was the Hollywood year, was our theme. We started out at Hollywood Studios and had our Founders Day dinner, and each person that you see in the actual picture are either a leader or a scout that receives special recognition at the dinner. And there's one missing, Don Taylor's Pepe. It should also actually be in this photo, but we kind of got lost at the park. But each one received a special recognition, and these were our dogs in service. So they are either a service dog or a therapy dog. Molly, the little chihuahua, like in the stroller, she had every Saturday for 1 year, she and her paw parent gave up one Saturday a month for a year to hold a fashion show at Avanti Assisted Living in St. Cloud, Florida. And so, of course, we recognized and commended her for her work and dedication. She never missed 1 week the whole year. So I thought that was pretty amazing.
That is amazing. That's phenomenal.
But,
so obviously these are for service dogs, it sounds like. What other types of...
No, this was for this wasn't just for service dogs. This was for therapy dogs also.
Okay. Can you talk to people about, and I think that you might have some things that you could show and tell there on the screen. It sounds like Pup Scouts, you have a recognition for obviously the pets in your organization, and that is surrounding how their pets are uplifting people. So can you talk a little bit about the badges and things like that you have?
Sure, sure. Oh my gosh, you just made me happy. Well, we can, let me start out here. Here's a bandana that's a part of our uniform. And I don't know if you can see this badge.
Mm-hmm.
But that is one of our biggest fundraisers of the year. And it's our Spookin Style. Because we're based in the fashion industry, there's not one of our pup moms or pup parents, pup dads that does not like to dress up. We're a very theatrical group of people. So we take our dogs trick-or-treating and we dress them up. And what we do is 2 weeks to 3 weeks before trick-or-treat time, we take flyers into our office and then we canvass a neighborhood. And we take our flyers by, and it's called Spookin Style, Scare the Boo Out of Hunger. And we go trick-or-treating twice. Our first night that we go trick-or-treating is for our puppy dogs. And we collect food, chucks, collars, leashes, anything that a person would need to when they're adopting a pup or when they have a pup. And then we donate the food to local rescues, food banks, because food banks are now actually carrying dog food within their banks.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have a lot of seniors that own dogs that are on a fixed income. So we try to help out that way too. And that is, and then the following Saturday, we go and we actually raise, we trick-or-treat for our humans, as the puppy dogs call them. And then we actually donate that to the local shelters too. Last year, we raised over 7,000 pounds of food for the humans and about 10,000 pounds worth of food for the pups nationwide.
Wow, that's
So that's the Spookin Style.
mm-hmm.
And then we have the Puzzle of Love badge. And if you go on our website, the Puzzle of Love badge is the first badge that we ask all Pup Scouts to work on. You do not have to be a member to work on this badge, so you can try us on for size. This, we asked, there's a gentleman that has donated his retirement and his life work to the people at the Philadelphia Cancer Institute. And he gives each cancer patient a puzzle so that they can work on that puzzle while they're getting their chemo, to pass the time. I don't think that they allow electronics in the area, so it gives them something to take their mind off of what they're going through as they're getting their chemo or their dialysis. And then also in the summertime, there's a huge amount of children that come up because their parents are in the Cancer Institute. So he also gives them a puzzle and holds a bingo on Friday night for them. So we ask that Pup Scouts get a puzzle and mail it to the Puzzle Man Brown, and his contact information for the hospital is on the website. And we also ask, if you can, give a little gift card for the bingos on Friday night. It doesn't have to be a large gift card. It can be $5, $10. There is a Kmart across the street from the Philadelphia Cancer Institute. So if it's a Kmart gift card, it makes things all that easier for them to get prizes, or they can actually give the gift card so that maybe the patient can go over and visit Kmart while they have a the child of the patient can go over and maybe shop at Kmart while dad or mom are in the hospital. So that's the puzzle of love. We also have the TV badge, Pup Scouts with Mega TV. We have been invited to come on once a month to show off our Pup Scouts. So if you join us on the Pup Scouts, when the Pup Scouts show starts, then you actually receive the TV show badge. There is a difference in our patches and badges. Badges, when you earn a badge, it's a play it forward or a community service involved. So say I'm working on the I'm trying to find a badge. Hold on.
While you're doing that, let me ask you a question. My son was in Boy Scouts.
Yes.
Cub Scouts. And I know that in that organization, so because I'm correlating a little bit here, and forgive me for that.
Yeah.
But as they achieved more, and the older that they got, they went up through different ranks, and you eventually got to the point where even in Cub Scouts, my son, he actually went through all of the achievements that you could do to become a super achiever in Webelos. And so you kind of start out as a cub, and then you know how you have Bobcat, and then, you know, I know I'm forgetting some here. It's been a day or two. And then eventually go up to Webelos. In your organization, just out of curiosity, do you also do rankings like that for Cub Scouts?
That's so good that you brought that up. We have paw rank, and they go with each year, and each year they change color. And then when after in your 11th year, after you've been with Pup Scouts for 10 years, which the founders pups, they actually got official ranking. They haven't been in Pup Scouts for 10 years yet, but they were given the ranking. Then there's a gold star, and there's a gold star for each year. If you are a member in good standing for 10 years, paying your dues and working on each patch and badge requirement that goes along with the paw rank, then at the 11th year, your pup no longer pays membership dues. He's an honorary member. He's a member of Pup Scouts, and he receives a gold star for each year from the 11th year on.
Oh, okay. Cool. Thanks for the clarification. That helps.
Okay. We also, like, this is the holiday badge, and we have holiday badges and we have patches. And the difference in a badge is a badge has requirements. And so there's a community service. You can, it's as simple as with some, if you go in and pay it forward, go to a coffee shop and buy a coffee for the person behind you. Some of the badges are a little bit harder to get, and that would involve a community service or hosting an event or volunteering. So, you know, it's different degrees, just like in any scouting organization, you know,
right?
That you have different badges that are harder to achieve than other badges. And as you can see, we actually we make our own badges.
And of course, with this being Pet Fashion Professionals, I have to ask, do you have a specific designer that does the designs for the uniforms?
We do. Well, being in the pet fashion world, I am actually partners in a fashion company that's Light Up Fashion. And the lovely Miss Jenny Perez has a factory in Allentown, PA, and she is the creator of Pup Scouts uniforms.
Okay, that's great to know. I have mentioned Light Up Fashions. I didn't realize that many times when I get calls from publications and things like that, and they ask me about trendy things. So that's very interesting. It's a very small world.
Well, Light Up Fashions, Jenny and I, Jenny was featured in Out Florida Fashion Week, along with Melanie, Top Dog Model, and then the Pup Scouts. Because if you're a Pup Scout, that's the pool of dogs that when I'm doing a fashion show or when I'm doing an event, a fashion event, I pull from our Pup Scouts. So it's kind of like we're scouting. We scout for models too in Pup Scouts, you know. So, but she was featured here, and there's several videos. She's also been in Glamour and Glow, which is a national fashion show that travels to different cities. And it started, I think, in San Diego, California, is its home base. So we have a lot of fun in Pup Scouts.
It sounds like it. Before I forget, I think that you had mentioned at one point in time, you mentioned a lot of the types of community work that you do and organizations that you support, and you guys, sounds like you're getting lots of food and things like that for food banks and stuff. But I think you mentioned to me at one point something that was done with war veterans. Am I remembering that correctly?
That is a new program that we have, and that's the Pup Scouts. That's falling under the Pup Scout service dog. Mm-hmm. Because we have a lot of war veterans that are coming home with post-traumatic stress syndrome, and we have a lot of new members that are joining. So we're actually forming troops in certain veteran organizations because it's perfect for people for soldiers that have PS, the post-traumatic stress syndrome, because it's working on the patches and badges, it's socializing, and it's getting them out with their service dogs. The mayor of Naples, Florida gave us a accommodation last year in May. We received a special audience with the mayor for our good works in that field, and also just helping out in the community. You know, we've worked in the fashion week that Melanie has opened. They've raised money for Make-A-Wish. We're not a nonprofit, but we assist nonprofits in fundraising, if that makes any sense.
Oh, definitely. That they're in the pet industry, especially, there are a lot of organizations that are set up that way. So it totally makes sense. I think that's fantastic. You know, being in the generation where around the time that I got out of high school, it seems like we went to war, and we've almost not had a break since. And my daughter's father has served in the military ever since we were in high school, which is more years ago than I care to admit. I know that is most definitely a need that needs to be fulfilled. So I think that's fantastic that you're doing that. I wanted to make sure that we mentioned it. So
we would like to thank, if you could thank your husband for his service. We're very appreciative.
He's not my husband.
Okay.
I will definitely do that. Yeah, it was the cart before the horse situation there, as they say in the South. So we were kind of dated in high school, and I became pregnant, and he went off to the military, and we never got married. So, but That's okay. Everything works out perfectly for a reason, because I have probably one of the best husbands in the world now, who was a wonderful father to her growing up. But anyway, we're winding down to just a few minutes left here in the Hangout, and I wanted to see if there was anything that I should be asking you that I haven't asked, or anything that you'd like to talk about with Pup Scouts, whether it's with pet fashion events you're doing. Of course, I'm always interested in those, or other organizations and associations that you're supporting, any events that are coming up right now that you'd like to talk about, to let people know to come out to those, or basically anything like that.
Well, we do have an awesome event that has started quite by surprise. The King of Medieval Times has asked Pup Scouts to join him at the royal table. So we are planning a royal dinner with the King of Medieval Times, and we plan to have a princess ball. And we haven't quite. Like I said, this one kind of just came about. And so whenever I do an event like this, I like to have a local charity to kind of help out. And so we're in the process of looking for a local charity in the Orlando area. We hope to have a dinner in all 9 medieval times throughout the year of 2015 and 2016 with the Royal Ball. So there's 9 castles, and we hope to have, and then we hope that each castle will host a Pup Scout for each following year. So that's a new event. And then, of course, our staple events. June is Paw Walk Month, and that's getting out there and walking with your puppy dog. It kind of works the way when we were younger, the MS walks, where you would go and people would donate a dime for each mile or 25 cents for each day. The form, it lets you pick how you'd like to do that. And you just pledge that you're going to walk 4 days a week, 30 minutes, an hour a day. And then the troop leaders are asked to actually, if they can, host a walk, so that it builds that camaraderie. But the forms and everything are on the website. It's the Paw Walk. All of the donations, Pup Scouts itself, the national office, they don't even touch our hands. We actually have the form, and then the scout themselves, or either their leader. We have some areas where there's not a troop, so they're actually following Pup Scouts online, because we have an online group, Troop 2. So they actually donate to their local charity of their choice.
I see.
So, with the Paw Walk, and then we have the I'm a Bully pageant. Each year we have a pageant for the king and queen of Pup Scouts. King Louis is our king from last year, and Queen Stella Star, and they will be commemorating the new king and queen. Once we have the pageant, we're collecting photos now. It's by vote. You don't have to be a Pup Scout to vote. You do have to be a Pup Scout to enter the pageant. And it's to bring, we have bully t-shirts that we're selling. We ask that, like each picture, we're asking that they share their pageant photo, and it says, I'm a bully. And it's to bring awareness to breed-specific legislation, because when it first started out, it's in the Pup Scouts Barking News, the article. on the pageant. When it first started out, there were 2 or 3 breeds that were considered bully breeds.
Mm-hmm.
Now there is a list that's pages long. And under some of the legislation, Kelsey Crime and her father, Joe Crime, who is Elvis Express Radio. He's a radio personality.
Mm-hmm.
There are some where a pug could actually be considered a bully breed.
Oh, wow.
So,
yeah, and as a person that has pugs and has all my life, that is kind of surprising to me.
well, because the definition of a bully dog is a short mouth and a dog that's considered vicious, because the legislation that they pass is so broad spectrum that, like right now, they're not claiming the pug, but it's something that could happen.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, you have border collies and other dogs that aren't bully breeds that under this legislation they're falling, and they're falling under. And so if I do understand that when you have larger dogs and they attack, it can be devastating. And I do think that people that have larger dogs that can hurt, that there's some type of accountability if they have a dog that attacks, that there's something in place to protect society, but this isn't the way to go. So what we're doing is we're asking all dogs to be bullies and to stand with their bully friends and say, look, we need to make changes here. So that's what the I'm a Bully pageant. And then, of course, the winner of the pageant is the king and queen of Pup Scouts for the year. They're in our calendar. We have a calendar every year. They're featured on the calendar, and they're featured on the website. And there is a article that's written about the king and queen in the Pup Scouts Barking News.
Okay, awesome. Now, going back to the medieval times thing, I think that's awesome. I don't know if with their having just like 9 places across the U.S., we have one here in the Chicago area that we went to when we first moved here a few years ago.
Yeah.
And anyone, if you get the opportunity, especially if there's a pet event associated with it, I would encourage you to go do the medieval times experience. It's like no other entertainment experience that I've had, and it's so fun. And you do dinner, you watch the entertainment with the, fighting for the princess, or all of that stuff. I can't remember the whole storyline, but it was just great. The way they have it set up, and the theater style is great, and you don't even get silverware to eat your dinner with.
Well,
so it's a really cool experience, and if you have that going on in Chicago, I most definitely have to know.
well, I will definitely let you know. The first one that we're hosting is in Orlando, and then from Orlando, if all goes well, because our puppies have to behave and have good manners,
Right.
and then from there we'll contract, and each castle should have a Pup Scout event every year.
Very cool.
So that's I am really, really excited. I know that in Florida we're trying to plan it in the summertime, because our dogs don't get out a lot in the summer because of the rainy season.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hot. And I know that up north a lot of the dogs don't get out in the winter time. So we're trying to make the social event, and it's a fun event to be able to get out and meet with other paw parents and just have fun.
That sounds great.
I'll give you a little secret. Pup Scouts have their very own wizard. Cedric the Wizard will be having dinner with Pup Scouts in Orlando. So not only do we have our very own Santa Claus now, we have a Cedric the Wizard. So, but the Cedric the Wizard will be overseeing the Pup Scouts ball at the dinner. So,
wow, that sounds fantastic. Well, Kate, we're really out of time, but this has been very educational for me, definitely, and I'm sure it's educational for anybody that's watching. And I just want to tell you I appreciate your time, and thank you for sending that photo to me because, of course, you know, any pet fashion related event that enhances that human animal bond connection is something that I want to promote, especially because it brings more of the uplifting that you're talking about to the world and humanizes our animals more. And for me, in the end, that means we end up treating our animals and Mother Earth better. So I'm supportive of any type of event that has that in mind. So thank you for your time.
We'll be definitely in touch with you when we start planning our fashion show. We would love to have our fellow pet professionals participate, and I will definitely get that information to you. I would like to share our website address for those that would like to join Pup Scouts. It's www.pupscoutsusa.com, and there is a place to register and purchase your membership on the tab that says registration and membership, and we would encourage you to get started on your Puzzle of Love badge.
Wonderful. And just to, I guess, reinforce something that you said earlier, you have an online group also for the areas where there's not necessarily a troop. Is that correct?
That is correct. What we found is, as we've grown too, the Pup Scouts grew into, we have Pup Scouts travel now, because we'll have the Chicago members going up to see the Indiana members, and I mean, we have troops we have a troop in Pakistan. So I mean, we're just all over, you know. But in some areas, we don't have troops that are meeting, so we meet in a group. It's a Facebook group, online too, but we also post what we're doing on the website also. You don't have to be a member of the Facebook group, but it's a lot of fun. You'd be surprised at the people you meet. We have members from Paris, we have members from Pakistan, we have members from Canada, we have members from Texas. And we have members from Florida. We have members just all over, you know, and it builds that bonding and that friendship, and it's a lot of fun. You should come by and check us out.
All right, awesome. Well, Kay, thank you very much for your time, and you know, like you said, please keep us in touch with your organization and what you're doing.
I surely will. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.